How I made this EE3 Carbine blaster today on Blues Bro Reviews. Greetings, Force fans, and welcome to another episode of the Blues Bro Reviews, your source for the Force. All right, just kidding, guys. So, I have made something special for a special friend of mine, Darth Rage Reviews on YouTube. So this is for Tim. So Tim had told. Well, let me go ahead and get into a real quick story. So I was hanging out with Darth Rage for the first time on, I forget whose stream it was, and we got talking about 3D printing. He's kind of he's a cosplayer, lightsaber reviewer, just kind of everything Star Wars. And he was telling me about his twin brother, who is since passed. He was a Boba Fett cosplayer in the 501st Legion, so a very legitimate Boba Fett cosplayer. If you know anything about 501st, it's a really big deal to get into that. You have to have a very amazing costume to be included in that. So anyway, he was. I don't want to retell his whole life story or anything, but his father had also passed, and when he was cleaning out the attic, he found one of his brother's old EE3 carbine blasters, and I think it was one from Empire Strikes Back, maybe Return of the Jedi. I forget. It's not quite. I don't think it was quite this model. It was the one that had the smaller emitter on the front, But anyway, he found it, wanted to pay a little bit of tribute to his brother, and painted it all up and made it look nice. So, I was just asking him a bunch of questions. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to put together a Boba Fett costume? I know he's got a helmet. And he kind of told me that, 3D printing, back whenever that had been made 10 years ago or whenever, is not what 3D printing is today. It's real brittle, and it's just going to have to be a shelf piece, and it's just going to be a monument to his brother, which, the story really touched me. And when he was telling me all this, I immediately wrote down, make Boba Fett blaster for Tim someday. And while that day finally came, I decided to make this for him. So, hey dude, this is for you. This is just a thank you for what you do. Appreciate the channel and your content. Wanted to do something special for you. I did make a couple other things for you too. I'll grab quick here. So, because I know that you know how to finish 3D prints and everything, I have made you a lightsaber stand. The stands are actually over there, but I can throw some lights in here, paint this. Should look pretty cool. And then I also got you a Mando blaster and a second Mando blaster. So this is at 100% size, which felt kind of small in my hand. So I printed one at 108% size, which looks huge on screen, but I think actually this one might fit pretty well in your hand. So, one can be a test for painting and stuff like that, but have fun with those, dude. I'm also printing you one other tiny little thing. It's on the printer right now, so I'll include that in the box, but you'll see that when you open it. It'll be fun. It's for your Christmas tree. All right, sir, so let me show you this. I am not the painter quite yet that you are. I've done a few helmets now, so I have a little bit of experience under my belt, but I am still no pro. I am pretty excited about the way this turned out. Never mind the tip here, because I had an accident when I was all finished with this and I dropped it, and so I had to refinish this and bondo this and fix this right up here. So I have to redo the graphite powder on this, but I'll do that in the morning once everything's all dry and I can sand it down. But I did a graphite rub on this section of the blaster. Let's see if I can get the lights to show it. So it's very, very metallic shiny. So you got your, Din Djarin Mandalorian reflective surface up here. So very, very shiny. The lights don't show it off so well, but this is a bit more silver than everywhere else. It looks a little black under these lights, but very, very shiny up here. And then I I know that you love to weather stuff, and this, you have my blessing to do whatever you want with this thing. If you want to, sand it all down, paint it a different color, if you want to weather the heck out of this, or like, do paint chips or dents or whatever, have at it, dude. This, I wanted to do something very clean and simple. I know you love to weather stuff, so this is as clean as I could make it. Couple things that I did have a little fun with is this paint job on the stock. So I painted this, I spray painted that like an espresso brown, and then I did some black strokes and some dark brown strokes on it to kind of give it that like stained walnut look. But I think that turned out really cool. So anyway, that was my experimenting with trying to give it like a wood finish over the plastic. So that turned out pretty good. And then I experimented with different clear coats. So what I did was I did the whole gun in a really high gloss clear coat. And then I did a high gloss on the stock. And I didn't like everything on it. The way that it looked, it was all just too shiny. So I took the Scotch-Brite pad and just kind of, scuffed everything. I actually repainted some things because this graphite dust goes everywhere. So I ended up making the scope all silver, shiny looking, which didn't make sense. So I had to pretty much sand it and start all over again. But I had some fun with different clear coats. So you'll see the light reflecting off this, super shiny. And then if you look into the, more metal part of the gun here, it's almost got like a texture on it. And what I did is I misted the gloss coat on it and didn't ever quite finish the gloss coat where it got super shiny. So it almost gave it like a texture, almost like reminds me of like a cast iron, pan or something like that. So it's got kind of a neat texture to it. And then for the scope, I actually scuffed this all up with the Scotch-Brite pad, and then I used a matte clear coat on this because I wanted to really, give the effect that that was a different type of metal up there for the scope. And then I tried to do some clear coats, the shinier clear coats on what would be the viewfinder to kind of make that look more like glass. But yeah, dude, I should just zoom my camera out 1 sec. Yeah, dude, so lots and lots and lots of time and effort into making this thing. But dude, I really hope that you like it. Again, I know you already have one, so, if you just, for any reason you don't want this, it's no big deal. Not going to hurt my feelings, but I did, like I said, your story just really touched me, and I wanted to make something for you, and I thought this might be a good choice. So this is yours, sir. It is, it's in the mail. It's on its way to you, and I hope you like it. So let's go ahead. That was it. That's all. That's the whole message. But I am going to show you a little bit of how I made this in further detail. For any viewers out there that are actually interested in all the steps it took to make this thing. So you can see this thing came in like a dozen parts. It's a pretty interesting file from Galactic Armory, but it's pretty neat because the parts all fit together really well, and it utilizes wooden dowels for strength. So pretty neat file. I'm also trying this new technique where instead of really trying to sand down particular parts of the 3D print where like the supports were kind of left like a jagged corner or, a little flashing on the plastic kind of stuff, I took my soldering iron, brought the temperature down to 200 degrees Celsius and just melted down the areas that were sharp or jagged, and really saved a lot of time on sanding the print and making things go a little faster. So here I'm cutting the dowels to fit and super gluing everything together once I got all the pieces together. So this is a 1/4 inch dowel and a 1/2 inch dowel it uses. But once I got everything together, I used the soldering iron and actually melted the pieces together in areas where I could, which wouldn't look funny if I melted them together. But yeah, so you don't have to worry about super glue coming loose or anything because a lot of this has actually been fused together and then is reinforced with those wooden dowels. So it's super strong, feels good in the hand. Pew pew! So I'm trying a new technique here. I'm using the 3D photopolymer resin that you would use in like a 3D resin printer. So I just paint on a thin layer, and then using a UV flashlight, I shine that on the UV resin and it instantly hardens, and hopefully this will prevent me from having to do lots of layers of the sanding filler primer. After that, you have to clean everything off with alcohol, wipe it all down, and then I got into my filler primer phase here. And unfortunately, my SD card failed in my GoPro, so I'll just insert some footage here instead of footage of hours of me sanding.
But it makes me feel so mad, I can't stand all this sand. Hate sand. Hate sand.
All right, enough of that. So then we gave this thing a shot of high gloss black paint, covered the whole thing, and that's when I went into the graphite rub. So this is graphite powder that I got from Amazon. This stuff goes everywhere. I should have taped off all the areas that I did not want to get graphite powder. I was really careful. I used a smaller brush in the areas when I was getting close to areas that I didn't want graphite powder on, but it didn't work. The stuff just goes everywhere, and there's not much you can do about it. So I would totally recommend taping off the areas that you don't want the graphite powder on. You can see a little bit better in this video the color of the graphite under that light. But after that, this is when I decided to paint over all the areas that I got graphite powder that I didn't mean to get graphite powder. And this also took the high gloss shine away from the metal part of the gun. And then this is when I was doing the brown. So I painted the whole thing espresso brown, and then I mixed a brown, lighter brown, did some brush strokes on that. And then I did some black brush strokes over that to get that like wood grain, stained wood look. And then I decided to paint the little greeblies on the stock silver. They turned out okay. Might want to just give this a quick shot of rub and buff if you have some, Tim. And that is pretty much the whole build there. I didn't take any footage of me doing the different gloss effects on it, but you know, I high gloss on the stock, but I didn't take any video of that, but I just did, you know, high gloss here, kind of a mist here, and then a flat clear on the scope. And yeah, man, there's your rifle. What you think, dude? I think it turned out pretty good. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, checking out this content. Please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I'm going to keep making 3D prints. Got a couple other projects in the works. Well, I got a lot of projects in the works, actually. I need to start finishing stuff instead of stopping new stuff, but hopefully I'll get better at that. Again, thanks for hanging out with me. May the Force be with you all. Catch you next time. Pew, pew!